It's me, and today is March 11th. It is a Tuesday, and it is 2014. And guess what yesterday was? Yesterday was my first day of, gender therapy? Yeah, so look at me. Steps in my life I never thought it would happen. So, I went to this place in Boston. I don't know if I should give you any more details than that, but that's where I went. And it's like this clinic, and it's for all sorts of LGBTQ people and all other kinds of weirdo problems and stuff. But they specialize in transgender and stuff. And I went there, and they have free condoms, so I have a bunch of those, and that's pretty exciting. And parking was $34. My mom was pretty angry. My mom took me. She took me on a school early, and I got to miss yoga, which is obviously fantastic. And so we got there, and the lady at the desk, she used my he pronouns and stuff, and my mom was shoving the female pronouns down my face the whole time. I don't think she knew she was being as offensive as she was, and not only was she using the she's and the hers but the worst part is the my daughters, because daughter is such a long, drawn out, feminine word that doesn't fit me. I don't know how pronouns are gonna go with her. It's not looking good for me. And so we got called in. I got called in, and my mother accompanied me. And we got into the room, and my mother ranted and ranted and ranted, and I didn't say a single word for 20 minutes because that's how it goes with her. And so basically, then my mom left, and my therapist, she was like, I didn't expect a parent to come in. That doesn't usually happen. I was like, I'm sorry, I feel you. And we talked about things, and I went over they sent me home with a bunch of paperwork when I came home from the ER that night, and we went over all my answers, and basically the outcome of that was I had depression. That's a real thing. They're gonna put me on antidepressants, and that's gonna be better. And we didn't go much into my gender yet because we're gonna do that next week, so I have an appointment on Tuesday. It's a week from today. And so that's super cool. But next week I have a full body examination. It's going to take an hour. An hour of people looking at my body. Now, that just sounds weird, doesn't it? And they're going to have to do my internal organs and things, my female born parts. Super weird. I've never had anything done like that before. I haven't been touched on my top half in a good 3 years. I mean, by a doctor. I mean, Ariel and I do some things, but that's different. And I'm pretty nervous for that, but I'm also really excited. I loved going there. I'm always nervous for these kinds of things, but it was so exciting. So exciting. I'm dying for all of this to happen. And the disorder isn't called gender identity disorder anymore. It can be, but the thing they've come to notice is that when you tell the outside world, I have gender identity disorder, they're like, oh, that's a mental health issue, we don't really care, blah, 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 and insurance will help you less, and all that jazz. So what they've come to label it as is endocrine disorder. And you probably know about the endocrine system, but it's the system in your body, and it has to do with hormones and a bunch of other things that we won't get into, but so my body is producing estrogen when it's not supposed to, which is so cute and so creative. I mean, obviously, since I was born with female genitalia, it's supposed to produce estrogen, but when you say it endocrine disorder and not transgender, it's a whole different story. And yeah, super fantastic. And yeah, so we went over those questions. I feel that's all we did. Yeah. And she was like, what's going to make life better for you? And I was like, top surgery, top surgery, top surgery, top surgery, and T and stuff. I'm if I had to pick between top surgery and T, oh my god. No one, trans guy should ever have to pick between both. But I don't know. Sometimes I think that I would go for top surgery because maybe if I really tried hard enough, I could lower my own voice. Probably. Not good at it. Especially when I'm excited. It's impossible. But they're both very important. But speaking of tea, if I'm on board, I could have tea May. End of May or mid-April, around there. Because my therapist, she's leaving on vacation the last week of March. So next week will be my last appointment, for March. Yeah, so I have a therapy appointment and I have the medical appointments. I'm gonna be there a long time. It's super cool. It's all super cool. My mom like cried a lot though, and she was like, the pronouns with my mother are horrible. Like I can't get her to understand that it's painful. And she made it so that my therapist like didn't use any pronouns around me because she didn't want to make her uncomfortable, and that made me uncomfortable. So instead of calling me he, him, you know what I mean. It was just AJ. AJ, AJ, AJ. Except for my mom. My mom is not AJ. My mom is permanently on my birth name. Even though we're getting it legally changed, she knows it's changing. It's not changing to her. It's not changing in her heart. It's changing on paper. It's a very big difference. Yes. And it's just so cool. I don't know if I left anything out. I hope I didn't. Ariel's super excited too, which is she's adorable. She's adorable with my translings and how exciting they are. It's so cool. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna end this because most of my videos drag out to be like half an hour long, and that's absurd. So yeah, I am transitioning. What do you know? It's happening to me. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Okay.